Another video about my training for upcoming competition in May. By the way, it is already end of March and the competition is still not officially in a AIDA calendar. So I'm really crossing my fingers that it's not going to be cancelled. Otherwise, my videos is going to be strange because I'm preparing for this competition. So nevertheless, it's going to be 2 videos almost in a row because my last video was a couple of weeks ago. So my first training session in the water after the break from the dentist procedure was quite nice. I did it pretty intense. I did 6 sessions per week. It was 3 training days, then it was a day off, dry day, and then 3 training days again. So I was really happy, though it was quite intense. So I don't think I'm gonna continue to do 3 sessions, 1 day off, and then 3 sessions. So it's gonna be not that sustainable. I think 2 sessions, dry day, 2 water sessions, dry day is gonna make more sense. So what I did, it was, like I said, 3 sessions. It was mainly volume training. I did first 1 session with a monofin, 1 with a bifins, 1 with a no fins. But when it was a monofin session, I was doing it with a bifins, a short silicone emulsion of bifins. I think I'm gonna keep doing this for a little bit more because I feel that when I do monofin movement with the short silicone fins, I feel it is a less impact on the body, and I think it is more demanded for the technique, right? So this is why I'm thinking it is a good idea. Hopefully I'm right. So like I said, I'm gonna train like this maybe 1 or 2 weeks more, and then I'm gonna switch to the my short monofin training. Still not clear whether I'm gonna receive my big monofin or not. So the production already started, but whether I'm gonna make it or not before the competition, still not clear. So what I'm working now at this moment is just a technique. So basically I'm doing, in all of these 3 disciplines, I'm doing relatively small, easy repetitions, like 40-50 meters, with a relatively small rest. The rest is more or less enough for full recovery, but not more than that. So for example, when I was doing bifins, I was doing 40 meters, 44 meters, and then the rest was 1 minute. And then when I was doing monofin training, then I think it was the same, maybe slightly longer rest. With no fins, I do the rest slightly longer because obviously no fins a little bit more demanding discipline, but still it's not that long. For the both bifins and monofin, I'm also keep doing vertical kicking because I think it is a good technical training, and I'm trying to do as much as possible. Currently about 15-20 minutes after each session, I'm doing swimming on a surface, whether it is a bifins, monofin, or no fin. For the no fins, I also doing occasionally, let's say, arm stroke only or kicks only swims. This is helps to focus on this part of the technique specifically. I'm more or less happy with my arm stroke technique. I'm more or less happy how I combine arm stroke and kick, but my kick, I'm not that satisfied at this moment, to say the least. To be honest, I'm not satisfied at all with my no fins kicking, so this is why I need to improve that. However, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, then you can find me on Instagram. I put the link in the comments below, in the description below. But in Instagram, I recently said that I soon gonna stop training no fins and just focusing on a bifins and a monofin. Not because I'm satisfied with my no fins technique, just because putting bifins and monofin as a priority. So maybe I'm gonna do maybe 1 or maybe 2 weeks more with a no fins discipline, but then I'm gonna stop doing this and just focusing on a bifins and monofin, and specifically monofin, because monofin, I feel my technique is much behind compared to the bifins, and in the bifins I'm just gonna slowly increasing the distance. My main approach, as probably you already know, for those of you who follow me for a while, is alternating between high volume training, where I'm working on a technique with a relatively short distances and relatively short rest as well. In this case, it's also like a little bit CO2 training. And then alternating it with intensity training, when I do a longer distance with a longer rest, right? So now, like I said, first week was mainly volume training. Second week, actually, I did already. Second week was also more volume training, but then from the next one, I'm gonna do more intensity. Like I said in my videos about my last competition, I was a little bit upset that my legs get tired a little bit more than I was expecting. So this is why I include now more leg training, both dry and in the water. In the water, it is a vertical kicking, swimming, and also doing sprints, right? I don't do sprints with a monofin because I feel it's a little bit too much intense for my lower back, which is not extremely healthy. But doing sprints with the bifins, I really, really like it. So I did a few already sessions with sprints with the bifins. Sometimes I'm using swimming drag shorts to produce extra resistance. In this case, it's becoming much more intense. But sometimes I just don't use any weights and just swim 20-25 meters as quickly as I can. I think this training is really helpful. It's helpful for the technique. It teaches you that you can do bifins kicking without kicking too wide, but also it's a good exercise for legs conditioning, because basically in this case, when you do sprints, when you swim as fast as possible, your legs almost immediately start working in an anaerobic mode, and this is a simulate what you're going to have at the end of your long swim. Because when you just start your dynamic, let's say 25-50 meters, you didn't have immediately vasoconstrictions in your legs, your oxygen content in the blood quite high, so this is why your work is mainly aerobic. But at the end, when you have a peripheral vasoconstrictions and also the oxygen content in your blood get lower, so this is why your legs at the end of the long dynamic start to work more in an anaerobic way. And one of the way how to train this is doing sprints, because sprints you start in an anaerobic way almost immediately. And this is going to be my my advice for you today, is to include sprints in your training if you are swimming, let's say, more than 100 meters by fins or close to 100 meters by fins, because I feel this is a distance where typically legs starting work more in an anaerobic mode. I would say somewhere after 75-80 meters, the legs start working more in an anaerobic mode, and this is why sprints going to be a really great tool in your toolbox to address this problem. How you can do sprints? Obviously, as quickly as possible. I prefer no wetsuit if the water is not extremely cold. Also, I prefer not to use any weights, not neck weight, not weight belt. In this case, you need to kick more intense. Occasionally, I use different resistance devices such as a parachute or shorts, swimming shorts, resistant shorts, or you can just put the t-shirts and swim with the t-shirts. It's also going to be extra drag. So this is a few options. Also, how long to rest in between. Actually, it's addressing two different energy system. If you have a nice long rest, it's addressing mainly phosphate creatine, like lactic system. And then if you have a short rest between your sprints, then it's going to be mainly like lactate system, right? So this is why what you can do, let's say you can do 10 repetitions, 5 of them with a long rest, 2-3 minute rest in between, and maybe 5 of them where you have a shorter rest, let's say 30 seconds or something. So this was my training tips for you for today. Include sprints in your bifins training.